no reason a
Yes.
woman who has established her entire brand, like Britney is Britney. We know that that's Britney Spears, okay? That's her. She can go just by her first name. The same way Wendy can go just by her first name. That is personal branding that is on Michael Jordan's level. And you're telling me these women are having their brands ripped out from underneath them because of these conservatorships? No, that's gotta stop.
Yeah.
Hey, friend.
Hey.
How you doing today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Oh, good. Just delighted to be here with you. So, it's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, bitch.
This conversation is being had for out of the respect and love and celebration that we have for the incomparable Britney Spears. Just want to make that real clear.
Yes.
But I think that people are, I don't know, I was going to say people aren't being honest. I think they're being honest, maybe a little too honest. The conversations being had about Britney are not in the right vein, in my opinion.
Yeah, well said. I agree. There's so much to unpack. So I guess we just really take it back to the start of all this. I mean, it started as this grassroots movement. So
Free Britney.
We all know what I'm talking about. That I say it, but we all know the Free Britney movement. It started as this grassroots movement when there were fans that were starting to notice inconsistencies in her social media posting, and they started expressing concern.
And rightfully so. I mean, she was definitely communicating a message without saying much.
Yes. And that grassroots movement actually took off to this huge global thing in support of Britney, which, as we all know, led to her getting free of her conservatorship. I followed it a lot. Britney, for me, was, I was in 6th or 7th grade, I think, actually, when her first album dropped. And so, yeah, I have all those memories of, being I went from arguing with my besties about who's better, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, to dancing our asses off together to Britney, and then following everything about Justin and Britney, and it was a time. It was a time.
Being a millennial, there's nothing that compares. I don't think we got some of the best of culture to grow up on, and I loved that.
Yeah. I love that for us. Yeah. So yeah, that whole movement was so, honestly, just one, interesting to see how it started out, it starts out with just a few fans putting together this, just taking this concern for this person who had this huge influence in their lives and this huge piece of their heart. And so I do believe that movement, it really did start with just genuine concern and also women in our country, in the world. I mean, Lord knows it's not just our country, but women not having their freedom, not having a right to say how their life is going to go. I know that was a big part of it for a lot of women, is let's help this woman have her freedom. Let's help her have that. We live in a country where we already dealt with that. We dealt with that. So she deserves her rights as much as any other woman.
Most definitely. And I just, really quick, I just want to chime in and say that Forbes has estimated her net worth to be $150 million. They estimated that her catalog, so all her music, is worth 200 million. So there's no reason why she shouldn't be able to have her freedom. She shouldn't be able to,
What
call
she
the
just
shots.
sold it for, right?
Yeah.
200 million. We'll get into that. For me, following along with that, I was rooting for her. I wanted that. One thing that I know I've talked to you about that I did from the beginning express some concern on, though, was I wonder if freeing her from this conservatorship just clean, no big transition plan, how that's going to affect Britney. Because
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, someone who is held in a conservatorship for that long, whether they should have been or not, none of us really know the exact details. We know what's in the media. We know all that. We obviously have a much bigger idea now that we've got Britney's book, but especially way back then, we didn't know the exact details of what got her into that conservatorship. And so whether it should have happened or not, I think we can all agree, or at least you and I can agree, it definitely went on way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And when something like that goes on that long, there are absolutely major effects. There are major effects to that person. She had so many rights stripped away. She had, she arrested development, right? She did not get that opportunity to learn how to manage money as a tool because someone was doing it for her. She didn't have
Mm-hmm.
privacy. She didn't have that. She talks about that in her book, how much she just loved to drive, and all she wanted to do was just drive her car down the road, and she couldn't even do that. And so when you take someone who's been in that position for as long as Britney was, I don't think that they're able to just come out and handle everything that easily right away. I think it
Mm-hmm.
takes baby steps. I think it takes therapy. I think it takes um, a lot of professional assistance and guidance to help you transition.
Yes. And you know what? I think it also takes experience too, because I can't think of anybody in modern times who we watched do this, watched go from being under a conservatorship to not being under one and having a functional life afterwards. So I think that's also unfortunately part of the problem, is that Britney was somewhat of a guinea pig in that way, because she's one of the first real public figures that we are getting to see and how they're coping. And I mean, to me, it makes perfect sense why she would struggle with going from being under that conservatorship, where she was like, they had her on medicine. They had her taking, I forgot what the medication was that she said that she was taking in the book, but she said that she didn't like it, but she was forced to take it. Um, she was not allowed to drive. She was not allowed to go out by herself. She wasn't allowed to control any of her money. She didn't have access to her money. Like living under that for, what was it, 12 years?
I believe,
2008 to,
yeah,
yeah.
2008 to 2019. So
Okay,
yeah,
so 11 years. That's a really long time to, be caught under the thumb of a system, and then you're expected to just come out and know how to function. I mean, we see how veterans do when they separate from the military. They have a very hard time reassimilating back into society, and rightfully so. I think that we probably should have taken the same look at Britney, and I mean, hindsight's always 2020, of course, but
yeah. Yeah. And then especially, you have to factor in her age too. I mean, while she was an adult, but she was a young adult. They say your brain isn't fully developed until you're 26 years old. So in these, what are still, in my opinion, very formative years, she was having every decision made for her, every move watched, all of that happening. And the worst part that, I mean, it makes my blood boil. I get just shaky thinking about it, is using those babies against a mother. Girl, we're both moms. And so my heart for her watching that and the way that they forced labor out of her, um, and forced her to act a certain way, take the drug, take your medicine, do what's asked of you, do what, no, not what's asked of you, what you're told
What
to
you're
do.
told.
And then maybe you'll get to see your sons.
Mm-hmm.
That is just something that it breaks my heart and boils my blood simultaneously. I just can't even imagine what that would do to a woman. Yeah.
One of the details that she shared in the book was that her mother thought that around the time that she did that VMA's Gimme More performance, where she was very off, she was not on her game, that was not the Britney that we are used to seeing. Lynn Spears said that she believed that Britney was going through postpartum depression at that time. And as somebody who did go through postpartum depression, it was literally one of the most awful, darkest chapters of my life. And I was just doing it in the comfort of my little home in Southern California with my baby and my husband and, my little friend group and whatnot. So I can't imagine if I had the whole world scrutinizing me as I'm also going through postpartum depression. And then she's got paparazzi in her face the second she steps outside of her house with an infant in her arms. In her face. Like paparazzi, people don't, Gen Z does not know this because they're too young, but paparazzi used to be a lot more aggressive than they are today. I am so glad that legislation has made them back off and leave these people alone, because I know we're eating the rich right now, but celebrities are people too.
Yes. Yep. It's true. It's true. And I will say, no, sorry, go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to say that what comes to mind especially is the picture of Britney in the car with her baby. I don't remember which of the babies it was. I think it was the first one because I don't think there was a second one. But she had the baby in the car and she was driving with the baby in her lap, and the paparazzi snapped that photo. And, it was all this stuff about what a terrible mother she was and shit. And like, at the time, I really didn't judge. I didn't judge back in the early 2000s. I just figured, Britney's a celebrity and I guess this is what celebrities do. But thinking on it now, I'm like, oh, how scared were you that you jumped in your car with your baby in your lap to drive away like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I was going to say on just a little side note, as far as how much the paparazzi has changed, big ups to the celebrities that I do see standing up to them now too, because I think that during that time in Britney's era, there was just this first of all, people pleasing is a very real thing, and Britney, there's no denying there. You can just reading in her book, she clearly was always aiming to please. She was always aiming to make her parents happy, to make all the reporters. She was such an innocent young girl when she got on the scene. And so it was just, she truly had that sweet, just innocent, America's sweetheart. And so I think for her, the idea of confronting a celebrity and saying, hey, this is not, like, she didn't know how to do that, or that was okay to do that. And so, to see I see celebrities now that are starting to set those boundaries. And so good for them. Because like you said, I eat the rich, but hey, they are people. And just because you sign up for a job to entertain publicly does not mean that you're not entitled to privacy too.
Right. Especially in your parenthood.
Yes.
I don't think that anybody should invade your parenthood. I felt the same way about Michael and his kids, the way that people were just constantly publicly making statements and questioning things about his children, that his children didn't need to hear any of that. Leave these babies out of it, like that sort of thing.
Leave the kids out of it. Agreed.
Yeah, leave them out of it. Don't use them as pawns either. That's just really disgusting. And yeah, unfortunately was an aspect of what was happening to Britney while she was still showing up and performing for the rest of us and, you know, doing
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
Vegas residency and all that stuff. So,
Yeah. And then to see that kind of stuff used against her as a reason to need to put her in a conservatorship, and not look at the whole picture, it was just
mhm.
really heartbreaking to see. And so if we fast forward to now with Britney, obviously we're seeing just this completely different side of Britney. And
Mhm.
it's concerning. And one of the things that is really breaking my heart is, as you said in the beginning of this, the conversations that are being had, the the way that this is being handled by the public. I mean, I'm asking, where are all those people that showed up at the courthouse screaming "Free Britney" because they were so? I mean, are you the ones sitting behind your computer now and making fun of her?
It kind of seems that way, to be honest with you. It feels like at least half of the Free Britney movement has now turned into the have you seen r/discussing Britney on Reddit?
Oh no, I haven't even heard of
Yeah.
that
Yeah, let
one.
me go ahead and pull this up. And I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in this subreddit, but it exists. I don't know just how snarky they're getting over there, but I know that the premise behind this is that they feel like they need to be able to discuss what's really happening with Britney honestly, which I don't disagree with, as you already know. That's part of why we're having this conversation today.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't help but notice that some of it is turning into just very vile jokes about her. And I feel like that is the exact opposite of what Free Britney was even established for.
Yes, 100%. 100%. It's really, really sad and maddening to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me take a look here.
So, like, here we go. Here's this post from 3 days ago. It happened. Y'all were right. She is broke. She sold her rights to her music. We don't know that Britney's broke.
Yeah, we really don't.
Like, we don't have
What
any
is she?
proof that Britney's broke. I mean, she might be out here acting wild on social media, but we don't have any proof that Britney is broke at all. So I don't
Yeah.
understand that statement. You know, they like to post her videos here. And is she moving for you? Is the video playing?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And from what I understand, this is all of her social media now. It's just her
yeah.
dancing with comments off. So
Yeah.
that says to me that she wants to perform, but perform on her own terms, which she has a right to do. You know, I
Yep.
have no qualms about
Yeah,
that.
she has made an announcement that she's planning to start touring again, but she'll never tour in the US again. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw that.
okay. So
But
I was not sure if that was a legitimate announcement or if that was just something that someone made up.
okay, so let's see if I that's a good, because I've seen it on a couple.
I did see it once too, and I didn't give much weight to it because I wanted to actually hear her say it. While you search that, I'm going to turn these lamps on back here so that I get some light back here. This makeshift setup.
Yeah, it's getting dark in here for you.
Implement moral after dark. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Maybe you're right. It's in a few little articles, but it's not on her Instagram.
See,
I
I
thought
wanted to
it
see
came
something
from
more
her
official.
Instagram.
Ah, okay. So yeah, I think we need
No,
to wait and see on that one.
I don't believe the Hollywood Reporter.
No, no. No, we need to hear from Hindustan Times or Al Jazeera.
So, okay. Well, that definitely makes more sense because it was like, okay, but if she's going to start touring again, why would she go sell all her music?
Right. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, wait, hold on. How's she going to tour if she's okay? Sure. Because I'm not in that world. I'm just over here. I'm just a face in the computer. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works, but yeah, I honestly believe that she would actually be really happy performing again, but I think she wants to do it on her own terms in places that she feels comfortable, and she really just wants to do it for her fans. She doesn't want, we've gotten so we've ushered in this era of like hate watchers and hate attenders and crowd agitators and stuff like that, and I think that that might be part of what her reservation might be about with performing in front of audiences in the US, especially because we're just some rowdy motherfuckers over here.
Yeah.
People don't know how to act. But I think that based on all of these dance videos that she posts, I think she would like to perform, but
I mean, and it makes sense. It's all she's really it's all she's done, it's what she knows.
Mhm.
And so I think she deserves that if that's what she wants. And I think you're absolutely right. Her doing these Instagram videos is just kind of a way of like, I'm I want to perform on my own terms. I want to do what I want to do. I'm living my life. And
Yeah.
you know, have you seen the fan base that the Not Britney movement?
No, what's that?
So there is actually a group of people that you can look at hashtag Not Britney, and there
Okay.
is a group of people that believe that the Britney Spears that we're seeing on Instagram and all that is not real. That's not
Oh.
her. It's like the whole Kanye, you theory of Britney disappeared a while back.
Okay, so I found this Instagram account called Not Channel 8, Not Britney Spears. Okay, wait, no, this can't be what you're talking about. I don't think that's the same. Okay, Not Britney on Facebook. Let's see what this is about. Well, no, that's about Brittany Griner. Okay, well, oh, okay. Here's something from December 2025. Britney's returned from Cabo and is yet again carrying a toy car seat and baby doll as if it's her baby. She also has security doing it. This cannot be the real Britney Spears. I think we all need to consider the possibility that she is no longer here. Whoa, hold on. Let me share my screen.
It's a small group, but there are people that really are so convinced that she's not real, that it's not her anymore.
Okay. And so where did she go? Like are these in the same vein as like the people who don't think that Jeffrey Epstein offed himself? They think he's like alive somewhere else, living his life privately?
I've seen that it could be that the government took her. I've seen that it could be that yes, she just is living privately. Those are a few of the small theories I've seen when I dug into this little rabbit hole. Let me see. I mean, these people are crazy. Let's be real.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I kind of want to see more.
I was gonna say, if you're looking for the entertainment value, I mean, some of these people are really theorizing this, and it's
Oh my
pretty hilarious.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, people
There
are
was
doing
the
whole
theory that
analyses.
um, when her teeth, like, because Britney Spears, she was getting her teeth done professionally, where they were filling
Mm-hmm.
in. Like, you can tell now her teeth have a little bit more gaps in them than what they did. If you look at photos of her when she was, in her prime era, on the scene all the time, and then you look at now when she's talking and stuff, which I think she's beautiful no matter what. I ain't judging, that at all. But this was from the Not Britney movement, was one of the reasons that people were believing that this whole thing, ever since the conservatorship happened, she's just not real anymore, because they said her teeth changed so much. And
Okay.
it's like, well, there are dental procedures that she was getting done, to, if you look at her teeth when she's way younger, then you look at when she's really famous, and then you look at now, she just stopped getting her teeth done. But little things like
Okay.
that, the internet go insane, it really makes people start to question. Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these photos now. I mean, so she went from getting like regular veneers, I take it, to just rocking her own teeth. Is that what this is?
Yeah, I don't know if it was veneers or if it was a where they like do this filling in, like, the small, let's see. Let's
Like
see
if
if I
you
can
have
find them.
spaces?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, there's dental bonding. That's what it is. So it's
Okay.
like where they fill in the space. So when she was really, really in her prime, super fame, that's, I believe it was dental bonding. And I believe
Okay.
now she just kind of doesn't care as much about all. It's like, I'm not gonna, and good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, live your life.
Yeah.
But that was something that really led people to believe that she can't be the same person anymore.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I never, honestly, I did not take any notice of her teeth looking different. So this is
I
the first
didn't either
time.
until I saw hashtag not Britney. And then I went down the rabbit hole on that for a whole day. But so yeah, it clearly just one of the many things that have spiraled from this movement, from well, not the movement, but just from this whole sad
Very,
situation.
very sad. Very, very sad.
um I think that people are, we've just seen such a shift in what the support for Britney looks like. Well, I wouldn't even call it support anymore. There are people out there that do. I still see if someone is making, harsh comments, or I do still see some of her ride or dies, that
Mm-hmm.
feel the way that we do, where it's looking at this on a human level, looking, um, and really just sticking up for her as a human. And I think that everybody went through this movement, and maybe not everybody, but the majority of people, a lot of people expected Britney to come back as the Britney Spears that we once knew.
There's a really good point right there, because I think you're right. I think that for a lot of people, the Free Britney movement was inherently selfish. Like they wanted the residency to get back on track. They wanted to see her flipping her hair in music videos and stuff like that. Like they wanted more. And like that's the part that I think some of them have had to realize, is that like, oh, she gets to live her own life. She's her own person. What? Like she's
Right.
not just a
This is
product
what
for
we
me.
fought for.
Yeah. Yeah, that part. And so yes, I would absolutely agree with that too. I think that for a lot of people who were very much in the trenches of the Free Britney movement, I think that for many of them, they had a very different idea of what the outcome would be for them, not for her, but for them. And that part, yeah.
Yeah. And I think really it that makes me think about how we really don't value mental health, and see those signs, and
Yeah.
see, because like I said, for me, it was always a question for me of, I don't know that she needed to be in this conservatorship for this long, or even at all, but I do know that this conservatorship has had some, you know, lasting effects that are probably going to require some serious professional help to transition through. And I think that, and I'm not trying to, toot my own horn. I'm sure there were a lot. In fact, I know you and I talked about this. We were starting to see Britney Spears unravel a bit after, getting free. But I think that a lot of people didn't see it that way. I think there was this, it wasn't the conversations about mental health. It wasn't the true desire to free her and let her live life on her terms how she wants to. It was I'm going to get to go to see Britney Spears in concert again. I'm going to get that, we're going to get, 2000s back, the early 2000s back, the late 90s back.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, we all miss those days.
Of course.
But that's not what freeing Britney was ever about.
Yeah. Throughout this whole thing, I have really wondered, like, I saw Pink give an it wasn't like anything that was on video. I was reading this, but Pink gave an interview where she said something about, like, I wish that Britney would have called me or something like that. I wish she would have reached out. And I thought, why don't you reach out to her, Pink? Like, I feel like you're the type of celebrity friend that Britney could really use right now. Now, I don't know any of these people. Pink might have tried. I have no idea. But I was always really hoping that people like Pink, people like Leah Remini, people like that would reach out to Britney and befriend her and sort of surround her in that healing energy of, like, hey, I know you've been led astray and you got messed up because of it, but we are safe people. We don't want anything from you. We just want to see you do well. Because that was the impression I got from Sam Asghari, her like third husband or whatever, was that he was just showing up to collect the money.
Yes. Dang, I forgot about him for a second.
Yeah, Sam had a whole chapter too, friend.
Yeah. And that was really really sad to see, because he was there through the, like, in the conservatorship, right? Like,
yes. And so that's why I wanted to root for him. And I will say this in defense of Sam is not out here, like, I don't think he wrote a book. I don't think he's doing tell-all interviews. I don't think he's doing any of that. And he certainly could.
That is very true. That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, that's more credit than we can give to K-Fed.
That punk ass.
He is just such a, like,
and again, back to the kids, because it always goes back to the kids for me. You should have fought for those kids to be in their mother's life.
So let me figure out what date this was, because this was not that long ago. There was a news headline that stated that Britney's youngest son, I believe, might have been the older one, I don't know, but one of her sons hauled off and punched the daddy.
Really?
Yes. And I thought, ooh, okay, K-Fed let y'all punch your grandfather. That says to me that Jamie Spears is the bad guy that Britney says that he is. And the gears were always turning after that, because I felt like if there was a situation going on that the son was that angry enough to want to punch the grandfather and K-Fed didn't do nothing about it, I thought, okay, well, if nothing else, then I know that Jamie is just completely rotten and cruel and disgusting, because even the kids don't like him. So that was my initial thinking. And I thought, okay, well, maybe Kevin is trying to protect Britney somehow. Maybe he's on her side somehow. I'm not sure. That was my hope in my heart. But then that motherfucker, what did he do? Did he write a book? He wrote a book, right?
Yeah, he wrote a book, a whole ass book. And I just feel like, I mean, look, I was not there, but it just feels like the way he used that again, using the kids to make her perform, to get what they want out of her on a parent level. Like, no matter how much BS my kid's dad and I went through, if someone was forcing him to do some whatever they needed him to do to see my kid, like, oh no, I'm putting the foot down, because kids deserve to know where they come from. Kids deserve to, unless that person is obviously a monster in the worst sense and they are a true danger to their children, every kid has the right to have access to their parents. Again, I was not there. I don't know for sure, but I don't think there was ever a time, in my opinion, I, again, wasn't there, but that Britney Spears was a true danger to her children. And maybe even if she does have some mental health stuff, that they felt a little uneasy because she was going through something or whatever because of all the drugs they had her ass on.
Right.
You know, I find it very hard to believe that she couldn't have at least supervised visits. I mean, I think that he just should have stepped in more. And to me, it kind of seems like he was just cool with getting full access to those kids and, you know, kind of letting it play out the way it played out. And then going and writing a book about it and looking like a real jerk.
See that? Yeah, he really lost me when he did that. I was at least not criticizing Kevin Federline openly until he did that. And then he also like stirred up some other stuff with the boys and turning them against her and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with you there. I found the news article. I'll just show this right now. This is, and it's from 2019. So it was a while ago, but as you can see here, the headline says, Kevin Federline files complaint alleging altercation between his son and Britney Spears' father. So, when I saw this, I thought, okay, well, it seems like K-Fed is trying to maintain the peace and maybe be on his wife's side if he's willing to go against her father. But as we can see, that didn't.
No, I do remember this now. You're jogging my memory. And this was in 2019 when the conservatorship ended. Like, that was around the time that the Free Britney movement was alive and well and thriving.
Yeah, things were very heated at this point. Yes, September 4th, 2019 is the date on this.
Okay. So yeah, this is definitely jogging my memory. And yeah, I agree. I really, that opinion of him not really, you know, allowing her to see the, I think that I did get a lot more critical of him after the book, and seeing just these past few years, everything playing out. Honestly, even before the book, I think there's just kind of this feeling of, why is he not, it just kind of seemed like, again, just seeing the way that she was trying to reach out to the sons at first and see her kids again after the conservatorship ended. And there was a lot of drama there. And Kevin just kind of seemed to be okay with that playing out. And on one hand, I have to say, when your kids get to that age where they're young adults, I understand trying to let them make their own decisions and all that, but I also feel like you have to kind of help guide your kids. And it just seems like Kevin didn't really do Britney any favors in trying to help her sons understand the severity of that situation and why she was not there for them the way that she wanted to be. I'm not saying that man sat there and talked a bunch of crap about her and made her look terrible, but it also kind of seemed like he was just cool with sitting by and looking like, coming out smelling like roses and letting her
Yes. And I don't want to romanticize history either and whitewash this man into looking like some type of an angel. This man got with Britney Spears when his girlfriend, maybe even fiance, Shar Jackson, was pregnant with his child. So, I mean, that gives you a sense of
Mm-hmm.
what commitment this man has to fatherhood, truthfully. And then he also is now, he's married again. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he's married again, and he's not married to a nobody either. She is, let's see. So her name is Victoria Prince, and she is a former volleyball player. I think she comes from a prestigious family, if I'm not mistaken. Like she comes from some privilege. And they have, let's see how many, one daughter, two daughters. They have two daughters together, is what I'm counting here. So he's got two children with her, two with Brittany, and then it must be two that he has with Shar too.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a father of six.
Okay. Look
Yeah,
out, Nick
and
Cannon.
isn't it funny? Isn't it so funny the way that he gets to, whenever anybody brings up Brittany and Kevin, everyone always talks about Kevin as being the more stable one, the more responsible one, when no. If you look at this man's track record, he's just at the right place at the right time, it seems like.
Okay. And yeah, it's just, for me, Brittany was never even given that opportunity to be those things that you're claiming he's so much better at being. I mean, this woman, it started in, again, young 20s, this conservatorship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just, as someone, I have guardianship of a minor. So I know it's different. It's not the same as taking conservatorship of an adult. I took guardianship of my niece when she was 12 years old. And so I think this is why this case kind of really, stuck with me too. Not just my love for Brittany, but also anytime I see that kind of thing, guardianships, conservatorships, all of that, I can relate a bit. Again, it is different, but in my understanding, it is your job to love, support, guide, help that person be as independent as possible. And you are there to support, to be there if needed. But when you start to just take and take and take, not only the funds that come as a result of that legal paperwork, and in this case for Brittany, we're not talking about just, small money. I mean, we're talking about
No, this
tons
isn't
and
chump change.
tons
This
and
is
tons,
millions of dollars.
right? Millions of dollars. But on top of that, I mean, it goes so much deeper. The respect, the dignity, the autonomy, all of those things, and so much more. God, the motherhood, the opportunity to be a mother is the
In
part that
peace.
just breaks me.
Yeah.
When you do that, I don't know how you sleep at night doing that to a human being,
Mm-hmm.
because again, I know for me, my situation was different, but it was something that I took as one of the, if not the, aside from having my own child and raising him, biggest responsibilities of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so to take that on when it's your own child, which adds that whole other layer too of this is the person I brought into the world, and I'm now taking this whole other responsibility of being their conservator on. How you can't take that responsibility so seriously is beyond me, and how Jamie Spears can sleep at night is beyond me. But I think as we're starting to see more and more and more in this world, there are a lot more monsters amongst us that I ever
Sadly,
realized.
yeah, sadly, yes. But I find solace in knowing that Jamie Spears lost one of his legs. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
He's an amputee, yes. Let's see. Let's find this
Girl,
here.
it's like I kept up with the Britney move, free Britney movement was happening so much, and now it's like, and I was filling you in so much during that time, and now you're filling me in. Like,
Mhm.
what?
Okay, so this story, hold on, let me let it load and then I'll share. This is from late 2023. But yeah, he is seen in wheelchair in first sighting. Oh, sorry, I got an ad blocker. Let me get that up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there he is. See how his pant leg is all tied off?
Oh
Make
wow.
it bigger. Yep. So, and I think that well, 4 inches above the knee. I think it was diabetes too.
I was gonna say this looks like diabetes.
Hmm. Oh, they say he had a knee replacement and had a terrible infection in it. Well, that's fine. Either way,
Okay.
homeboy lost his leg, and I think that that is great payment.
Karma.
We can take the other leg, let's take the other leg. Let's get the other leg and the arms too, because that's what he deserves.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I'm fine with him losing limbs. I mean, Brittany lost so much more.
Right? Exactly. We could gouge that man's eyes out. It still wouldn't be enough. So
Think about if Brittany had gotten to build her career on her own terms. There's
she
so many.
explains it in the book, all the things that she wanted to do, the people she wanted to work with, the music she wanted to make. Yes, that I think that that's got to be like a special kind of defeat when you know that you are a person who had influence and fame and the attention and you still couldn't do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, because I'd seen a quote or post meme, whatever, the other day that said something along the lines of, when you're a child of trauma, one of the hardest things as an adult to mourn is thinking of what you could have been if
Mm-hmm.
you had the support, if you had that. And I'm not saying that. Let me clarify. I don't want people to think that I believe that, oh, if you live a traumatic life, you just don't have the ability to do anything. And there's so many people with amazing stories that truly they gain so much strength from just their situations, and they make an amazing life out of it. There is no denying, though, that when you go through a lot of trauma as a kid, there are so many people that you lose belief in yourself. You lose confidence. You are really just trying to get through the day, keeping your crippling anxiety to a minimum. You're trying to, break patterns and parent yourself in so many ways. And so you do wonder, wow, what would I have been if all of those things weren't happening on a daily for me? Like if I just had the ability. So I can't even imagine for Britney Spears where, it's like, oh, I had all of that. I did get there. I had all of that. And now it was still taken. And trying to rebuild from that, I cannot even imagine. And
I mean,
and
I know that it would make me crazy.
yeah,
It would
yep.
make me crazy. I would go nuts. And so in that way, I really don't judge her because it's like, how
No.
much has she had robbed from her to the point that she even wanted to have a baby and was told that she couldn't?
Yeah, yep. I mean, I would not blame that woman if she, first of all, I don't blame her one bit for keeping her comments turned off.
In
And
this
I
day
would
and
not
age,
blame,
especially.
yeah, and I would not blame her one bit if she chose to just completely go off into hiding, like go and not even interact with social media and all that again. Because if there's one thing I know, Britney deserves peace.
For sure. And wherever she is, whatever she is doing, I hope that she's able to achieve that however she needs to. I don't believe she's hurting anybody else, but if she's hurting anyone at all, it's herself.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that I believe that she is inherently a threat to herself. That's not what I believe. I just hope that she's able to achieve peace the way that she wants it, because Lord knows she sure gave a lot of herself to us, the viewers, for all those years, and for many of those years under terms that she didn't even agree to. So,
Yeah,
and I hope that she does not meet a tragic end too. I don't want her to be one of those that passes away young.
I agree. I agree. Truly only wish the best for Britney, and
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that I just really wish that more this could be more of a conversation of well, control, abuse of control and power, but also
Mm-hmm.
mental health, and how our country especially is really lacking still. We've come a really long way, but we're still really, really lacking resources and just conversations around the real long lasting effects of trauma, and how that acknowledging those things, acknowledging trauma and pain and how it affects you. It doesn't make you a victim. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you any of those things. I think we really have a lot of that belief still, that if someone says, oh, well, this happened and it was traumatic for me, and it affected me in this way, that you're trying to say, oh, well, I'm just using that as an excuse to act shitty or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not the case. Um, it's an excuse, or it's an explanation. It's not an excuse. And
Right.
so when we see these wild behaviors, or what might be considered, crazy or whatever, I think it's just really important to try and remember that, the majority of that behavior comes from the deepest, darkest parts of our souls, and the shit we've been through. And if we can all try and remember that when we're just dealing with other humans,
Mm-hmm.
we might draw different, kinder conclusions, than they're just crazy.
Yes, definitely. And I've got my fingers crossed that in some way, somehow, I don't know it, but in some way, somehow, I'm really hoping that in the same way that Britney's fans were able to free her with the Free Britney movement, I really hope the Free Britney movement can inform the Free Wendy movement, because Wendy Williams doesn't belong in that conservatorship either.
Yes, yes. I will say that is one very positive thing that came out of the Free Britney movement, was those conversations around, oh wow, there are other celebrities and adult conservatorships that are abuse of power, and need to be looked into. And yeah, let's put the microscope on that shit and
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the
get
same
people who
way
are
that the
that.
conservatorship, yeah, the same way the conservatorship took so much from Britney, Wendy's entire legacy is being erased right before our very eyes because of the conservatorship that she's in. And that just, you know, for women, for the sake of women, we have got to pay more attention to this. There's no reason a
Yes.
woman who has established her entire brand, like Britney is Britney. We know that that's Britney Spears, okay? That's her. She can go just
Yep.
by her first name. The same way Wendy can go just by her first name. That is personal branding that is on Michael Jordan's level. And you're telling me these women are having their brands ripped out from underneath them because of these conservatorships? No, that's got to stop.
Yeah. Brands that were built that never would have been built without those women exactly who they are as they are. Those people that have the conservatorships, that have the power over these women, never could have built what they built without them exactly for who they are. It's them that's the brand. It's them that sold. And so, yeah, that is just, again, blood boiling, that degrading to see. And yeah, I think that's a really great point, to put the microscope on Wendy Williams, and I know there's more out there. I know
there's others.
more.
There are others for sure.
And if it's truly a situation where someone needs to be in a conservatorship, I also think it's important that they really, really pay such closer attention to who is taking that conservatorship, who that person is to them, what their role is, what their background is. I just think it's really something that role of the conservator should be held to the highest standard, with the understanding of the effects that you're having on the conservatee's life,
Correct. I agree. Well, I appreciate you joining me for this conversation.
I always appreciate joining you for conversations, friend.
All right. Well, I can't wait until our next one. Those of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next video.